I don't know if that's true. I wanted to move to Hawaii for a little while, and I just kept telling her, I said, hey, they don't let you like for us.
I do feel like that. I also feel like if something happens, like you can't get. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I am all for being on the beach. I've been to Hawaii and everything between the locals and the Americans, and so
much like any college football,
we're gonna go out to eat.
Go on Sundays, I'll tell you that.
Go on Sunday? Is
Yeah,
that the day to
we
go?
went out.
Y'all went to the escape room.
Did some escape.
What is that all about? I see people go to that, and I don't know what that is.
Go through all the clues and find the suspect and do all that. So it was a lot of fun.
So are you in a maze?
It's not one room, went to the next, and then once we finished that, like that unlocked the door for. Like you do have to figure your way out. This one was nice. When we got there, we were talking to the guys, and they'll kind of like pace you along. So it was a lot of fun.
Gotcha.
We had a good time. We like
to watch all the fun stuff y'all do, and
yeah. Actually, I asked Claire if she wanted to do axe throwing, but she was like,
"We're back, August." You made a mention. You weren't down on the strip. Brent was down there. Department. I pray for those guys every single day, but we saw some pictures over the weekend of. It looked really bad.
I won't say that.
It looked really bad. Like if you are talking about, and you see the university back first weekend.
Yeah.
That gives you a picture of what this is.
It's only 30,000, isn't it?
I don't know.
Then they.
I'm thinking of Shelton State. I'm thinking of.
Didn't the other? Oh yeah, I guess that's a good point.
We've got like 3 different colleges right here in town. So, but if you said 30, got it. You got high school starting back this week. I went to a Wolves dude. They're like, welcome to high school. Here's your locker. Good luck. I mean, that's what I feel like. Here, and my next class is behind me. Like, and they're like, you can only go one direction. Your classes are in numerical order. So, but yeah, they're doing it. But I told my kids they're super excited to get back, but I told them, I said, it is not going to be like when you left since we started. And I don't care what leader it is. They're throwing stuff against the wall and hoping that it start out with, I don't know what it's going to look like 4 to 6 weeks from now. It may change. It's probably going to change. And I was like.
And we'll make a decision come spring.
I think in a political, whatever words you want to put in there, election we've ever had between Trump and Biden, late September, October. So hospital numbers are going to get fast. 32 of them, like 24 of them got the flu, and they shut her class down for like a week or something. It was they've got all the water fountains bagged.
Which we were like, where we were in Texas, they were like, we don't bring a water bottle. Like this is odd, but. She's our first one, so
nastiest thing in the history of mankind.
If you ever see Quinn loves water fountains, and no wonder your shirt's always wet.
Hey, I'll be honest with you, dude. Water fountains are the out of it, and then look at your water.
Yeah.
All the floaties in there. That's just nasty. Yeah. I don't share with my kids.
I get daddy tax, but taxes don't work the other way around. They don't get. They try to say.
Barbara's on here. Good morning. Tiffany has great taste in shirts. She says, I love moving to that beach that we are always talking about. And
there's a beach out there that just needs a snow-like space that takes up.
No. That's why snow cone trailers are the smallest trailers.
There's been, I like to peruse Facebook Marketplace for whatever random stuff. And there's
half deaf. She says it's really hard to hear us. Can you turn it up?
Yeah.
Loud.
Yeah, yours I have to turn it off.
That's rude and slightly hurtful.
I mean, I could put the.
And for all of our teachers and faculty and staff of all of our schools, it's a new normal of trying to, their biggest thing was we need you to communicate. And their principles. Sunday, most people listen to me. They're like, I catch 3 points and I'm good. But I heard him say that. I think teachers are going to get frustrated, and I think rules are going to change. And we've seen it here. Most people do not handle change well. One of the things that I feel like is boring, but people think chaos is exhausting, and so you got to find like church right now. The things we're doing now, like we've got some events in pencil.
Somebody on Sunday they were talking. Their niece wants to get baptized, and she was like, "Hey, what?"
Just I mean, it is so hard to schedule right now and to have any long-term nights of prayer and worship, and we've got 5 different speakers coming in from everywhere, from Indiana, all that to happen. But
hopefully, I get to actually go to this one.
That'd be nice. We're gonna have baptism
preparation.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm pumped about that. I think if you
It'll be the first time we've done it at a night of worship. You've been championing that for 2 years.
Dude, I think you'll.
I think we're up to 32 people joining TWCC.
Woo.
If you count whole family weeks. We've got another one, I think, being baptized tomorrow night at SOT. We've got part of in my lifetime.
Yeah.
This is the most chaos I've ever been, and I've lived a chaotic life. Like there's a way out, right? You just got to stop or turn or whatever. But on the, their frustration level to an all-time high. But there's no way out. I mean, there is no answer. There is
answers. Yeah,
and everybody's like, we're waiting on the vaccine. Well, look at the flu vaccine. I mean, that's not going to be the cure-all of every history books right now. This pandemic, for better or for worse, will reset America. I mean, from going to the store, I went to drop off the car my wife rented this morning. I'm like, dog, my mask is over, and but we were outside. I mean, it was cool.
Salt and pepper bag.
I want salt and hot sauce.
Yeah.
Well, I went to had a breakfast with a good friend this morning, restaurant right here in Tuscaloosa, because they have something called fajita gumbo.
Yeah, they have something called that.
This is Southern Mex. You take Bama Mex. Ooh, I like that. It's soupy and you eat it.
It's like you.
It's a lot like that.
It's like you put it on the shingle. Like
yes. Nice. But I was at Jalapenos. And I take my kids. That's what it is.
See, we were just ahead of the time.
We were ahead of the time, and I do think you can't get a menu at Jalapenos. I mean, that's how tech-based it is. Antichrist, the mark of the beast, where America and Iran are at, and all that. But I mean, when you talk about it, it talks about a cat. To buy that car I had for sale yesterday, I would have. I mean, it's all just. Right there, technology is just going.
Pay on a watch.
You go pay on your watch. I refuse. Yeah. It's like a shock collar.
Yeah, you used to.
I feel like a dog with a shock collar with that watch on. And I
enjoy my watch.
Yes, I know.
I know.
My wife enjoys it.
I miss less phone vibrating. I have no idea what's. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's texting. She goes, "There's always that." True.
Well, see, I wish you would give my wife a lesson if she's watching. I'm in so much trouble. She has an. Even if you're doing something, it zaps you. Like, you just ignored me. You just ignored me. Phone out there. I'm like, dude, I could have one of those old pay phones. But I misspoke saying jalapenos was the greatest because I do believe
it is. It's delicious. But
I eat his Alhambra.
Oh, yeah, the Alhambras?
Yeah, it's just like Archibald's, I get the barbecue cheese french fries, and Pastor's, I get the street taco. Yeah, my wife texted Cassie and said Peach Pit. Like, what is that?
A restaurant.
A restaurant, gotcha. Burgers, tortillas, and chips, and all that. He said supply chains are
still rocking.
Still nice. She is she is a very angry individual.
All your quotes from Sunday that I wrote down.
Good morning, David, from Texas.
The triggered one was a quote.
That one is one that wasn't in my notes. It just kind of flew out of my. True. It's the name of Jesus has been triggering people forever. Like, and I said you can talk about whatever you want, but you mention the name of Jesus, and it brings an intensity to the conversation. Calm. They're searching for comfort. They're searching for. And I think the church has so got out of them from the stage.
You might be triggered.
I was triggered. I hate that statement. It's so stupid. But
talk about God, and you can talk about church, and you can talk about everything else. But when you bring up
this week is interesting. It is there is a lot of prophetic in this week. Do the Book of Revelation without Daniel and Ezekiel and Luke and Antichrist, Mark of the Beast, and I think. And I'm going to give my statement because of the rapture. And I think that last week I got, I always get feedback. The things that they're really enjoying kind of surprised me. Like, I got more grand scheme of I've got Jackie. We have fun around here. It's fun having Imagination Station. I love having them around. It brings some youth every now and then. 20 of them. There's like 100 some odd kids. There's 20 some staff. But they're always. I think some of them are still scared of me because I walk in and it's kind of like Sunday mornings.
Impressed at how many. Like, it just felt like the kids kept coming, and I was kind of expecting. I was like, oh.
But yeah, I think people are really liking the historical aspect, and so and so that's what people are really I think that knowledge, I've always said knowledge does no good unless there's application. Knowledge is just knowledge. And a nasty cesspool of a pond, you just get stagnant and you get bloated and you would call the preach part. But to get to the preach part, you've got to teach, because Revelation, I mean, like, we did the 7 lampstands, you could spend a week on each. Well, that's where small groups
come. I'm going to get everything from here, but really in terms of like baseball, Sunday morning is your setup.
Right now we've got
it's a surprising amount of groups.
Oh, dude, we have a crazy amount of groups, and they're all, and they break it down. So that's what I love about, especially a series like this, is they get that the other group, they're breaking it down. I had Tommy's got a men's group that meets on Tuesday nights. They're blowing it up. You got a group that meets Monday. Mostly when you because you just redid the website, which I love, by the way. Kudos to you. Great job. Matt's our tech, which is what I do. But I'm like, when you step back and go in the world of
the perks of now, the thing I like seeing the most is that it's not all focused around saying you should do anything on a Saturday.
Well, Saturdays really are our building team. They go out and do projects group. You know, you got I time my entry into the building on Thursday mornings, because it looks like Acts, you know, and they're meeting in homes. And in the world of Rona, I don't see us having. But they in that kind of world, you look at ways to keep people spaced out. You know, honestly, God's moving big in all of those. I get stories every single week from each of them, and even this week, we're gonna find a way to over school starting back, so people are kind of grounding back in, but. He's just moving big. The thing I like about that is the women love that. It's one of the favorite ones that they do. But we're going to do that over that.
I would imagine the answer is no.
The answer is no, man. Why can't I craft? Apparently.
Well, we had Taco Tuesdays, but then, Corona happened.
And then that killed that one. We're going to have a marriage group, so that'll be, I love how everything's kind of going live and online. So it's crazy that I don't know if they did or not.
It's just YouTube. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think Facebook.
I don't know if it's something about
huge riots, and then they tried to kill the newspaper guy, and it was like.
I have been surprised that we haven't. These past couple weeks, I go, oh yeah, this one's gonna get
a little while. Got booted off. But this week I may dive into some of that. Some of that false Mormonism is on the rise. Atheism is on the rise.
I think when we were digging into stats, one change of Catholics and Protestants is in the 50s. And you just go, wow, like that's.
Churches are stuck somewhere in the 90s. Yeah. Some of them even in the 70s. About the way I want things.
We've always done it. For
always
the past
done
29
it this
years
way.
Like this.
If you want to, but so often, and I love Henry Cloud. He wrote a book called, and it's the way we've always done it. Well, it's not the way that's reaching people anymore.
Yeah.
You're nobody in your doors because it's closed.
I'm not saying you have to go out and go live stream and do that, but you need to have a posting every day, because now we're so saturated.
Oh my gosh.
And the social media, it was like an hour. Mm-hmm. And now they said 75% of all people spend at least 1 hour a day.
Anything that you just randomly post now gets swallowed.
Right. You gotta focus down on our posting, which is good.
It is.
And I feel like we've tried to put more good quality things out there.
How do y'all do it? And I'm like, camera and a switcher, bro. I'm like, that's, it does cost a little bit, which is a lot of the success we're seeing now is we were positioned on the front end elevation of places like that. Dude, they've been boosted to the world. Yeah. Highlands even, like they boosted.
And they had a post, like, wrap-up moment for on their online. That's some smart stuff.
And even within us, we're still working out kinks, trying to get the online music amazing, but if you just set it to static, it sounds, and so there's just all kind of stuff, but we do have that. It amazes me how many people, although I do think now we have gone from,
boxes for those of you who aren't gonna, I think that's what we should do. We should put together an engaged box. And even if you're out of state and you want to join us, like, hey.
And then what y'all did for VBS, I thought that was brilliant. Y'all sent packets. This is huge. I am shifting from a table.
Oh gosh.
And an iPad and notes because the Gremlins hit every Sunday. So
it's always been wobbly.
I saw a meme once that said, you know how long the pastor's going to preach by what he's preaching behind? When you'll be there all day. But I've always been a big table guy because It just sends like this flashback in my head. But I've got a truss.
Oh, nice. Call that moving into the 21st century, but
you know, it's something.
It's reaching to pulpit.
Pulpit. That's the word. That's the word. But this is not a pulpit. It is a podium. Christian Bible
I didn't
church.
realize he put out the little dad's video.
Oh yeah, he's passionate. I can't wait to watch him bring it. Then we've got Tim, who's director of our SOT ministry, a guru that is now pastor of a church up in Indiana, doing really well, and he's going to preach. And then Stephen Culbertson, United States Air Force guru. Let them take it home, but I think it's going to be big. Worship's always huge in those. It's
baptism.
Texas and California and everywhere in between. We've got that's going to be online, but we're going to be on there.
Yeah, David, excited about baptism. He's a guy I always target who says,
"Golly, dude, drives me nuts." But we big applause, big woo-hoo. There in the lake, you hear the dudes in the background, woo-hoo! Like, so that's kind of caught on. And we are not doing a water slide baptism. I do feel like there is a level of
but memorable moments, and that would be a great idea.
Maybe. Ish.
Bring back.
I got 2 years to figure out how to get out of that. Join us for Engage, and you need a revival packet.
Oh gosh.
And so that for no other reason other than you got to continue to change. And so we've spent a lot of years
by these scary words.
Yep.
That people go. It's just like you always say. We got to get to a new believer occasionally.
It is. I mean, you say sanctification, people look around, they're like, "What?" I don't and use really big words.
Yeah. You want to use a King James word to message.
Don't be all things to all people. So if somebody needs a King James version or somebody needs...
there are some phrases in there that I'm like, that's good.
That's good. Yeah, so. I do like to amplify because it says it in ways that are, I think it's the living TL. I'm like, that's just cool. You know, that's a great way to say it. It's like the store read that, you know. Been in church my whole life. I thought brilliant. It was brilliant that somebody took
it in more people's hands.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to do it.
One way you can do it is put it in a translation they can on Church Bible app. Yep. You can get every single translation on there, and so it's pretty cool.
I'm an NLT guy.
I'm an NLT guy myself. That's where I hang out the best. I feel like it's still accurate, but it's like I feel like some of the if I read the King James, I'm not knocking it. I just have to translate in my.
And maybe I misread it.
Yeah, and so that's why I think we put too much emphasis on which times should be simple. Yeah. People joining the church. It's gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
6, 7 songs each night. I bet you that one comes up.
Good Father comes up.
Just you got to sit there and go.
Number 3 to number 9 by now. But
she won't play. I can only have a movie night and play like that. We could drive that back up to number 1.
I always think it's funny when you say
distance. Bring your own popcorn.
Yeah.
Or we could have pre-made bags of popcorn.
Pre-made bags and just go.
Somebody had a song. I think his wife died or something, and turned that song down. Yeah. I didn't know that part when I was watching the movie. That was the last movie I went.
Oh, Facing the Giants.
Facing the Giants all day long.
I could do that one.
I like me some 10 times each. It's the Left Behind series, and I'm always like, this would make such an awesome movie.
Or something.
They did something. You know those B-rated horror movies?
Yeah, man, love it.
That's what I felt like I was watching.
Fireproof was pretty good.
Fireproof, you kind of forgot about the acting. It was a great transition. They've gotten better. They've gotten bigger budget. They've gotten really good at it. But in those kind of movies,
It's Not Dead, and then they came out with the second one, and so
Christian is mainstream, and it drives Hollywood nuts. The last 2 I remember going to see was active
films than anything now. So I have seen both. I feel like I've seen both Frozen's in theaters because that's what they. Theater with the kids, but
well, our theater here now is kaput.
Yeah, imagine getting popcorn before you.
Popcorn as you walk in, like we had the big coffee.
Wafting smells of popcorn.
The church, baby.
As long as I don't have to put flooring down, I'm down.
Mine is the yard signs. If I don't
like every time they went into a new series, they'd be like, "Yeah, we want all the blues in this corner and all that." And I'm excited for Engage coming up, not this week but next. So. That'll be pumping.
Excited about that.
I bet they are.
I think they are. I think
it'll help the.
But I've had a couple parents come up. A kid that wants to sit in there and listen to me talk for 40 minutes.
No. There's not many adults.
They're not.
Been having a blast in the worship. She had a blast downstairs, and I don't know.
I feel like Quinn is one of those.
On stage, you mean? No, did you? I don't.
See?
Didn't even notice.
There were a lot of people that did. Because I had a big old hobbit toe.
Nice.
Yeah, it really hurt. So, but that's it. We're out. Internet world, or iCampus. Is that what we call it?
Gosh, please now.
Yeah. Fam. Like,
I don't know.
No.
We'll come up.
We'll come up with a really cheesy, and it's got no.
I was like,
no,
that's so cheesy.
I refuse.
That's so cheesy.
Anyway, let's pray us out. Get us out of here. Peace, give them protection as we move into schools and colleges start.